What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Not the video I planned on making today, but Danny Jukin came out earlier this afternoon. Obviously, many of you know Access Football, a game I'm in, as a matter of fact. Access Football should have been releasing on the PS4 last year. We kind of had a delay last year, and that followed through to this year. And basically, Danny came out and was very honest with the community. He said, basically, listen, we've got two developers. We have to make a decision each year whether we continue to work on the game or have those developers push the game out to the market. And they had gotten some outsourced guys to do this, and those people eventually just started to tell them they were further along than they actually were. And when it came down to release the game, it ultimately wasn't in the stage Danny expected when he was telling us it would be coming shortly. And for that matter, for what he states as maybe an unrealistic way of crashing the game in terms of the user going through a sequence of things that may or may not make sense, ultimately, as you watch the gameplay here, Sony has elected to supposedly say that the game isn't stable enough to release on its console. Now, double-edged sword with that. Certainly, we want to get the game out to as many people as we can, and that's any football game for that matter, whether that's just us having the ability to play the game or him have the ability to make money. I mean, ultimately, everyone here needs to continue to be paid in order to make anything. And then lastly, obviously, Sony has to be, I guess, very temperamental with what's going to come out on its console. They can't just release every single game, and clearly, Access and Sony got to a position where they couldn't agree on the status of the game and whether it should be released in the condition it's in. I don't think that's an indictment of the quality of the game. I think it's probably an indictment of the interface and maybe the way that Sony perhaps views things in a way that Microsoft may or may not, because certainly the game is available through the Xbox. So that's at least going to pull them off that for the foreseeable future, which is disappointing. I don't know how I'm going to cover the game. I suppose I could always do that on Steam, but a lot of times you guys with the PC-specific games aren't really interested in it. But we also technically lose a competitor on the PlayStation Marketplace when it comes to a football game. He did talk about major changes for next year and wanting to put gameplay improvements in the game. So I know a lot of people have been critical of the gameplay, myself included. So it's nice to know, even though we can't play the game on our PlayStations, they're looking to push forward and make the gameplay match all the franchise mode that they've put into this game in terms of being on the same level. But again, at least we're getting some clarity today. Not the answer that we wanted, not the answer I wanted to hear, but I guess at some point I'm glad to just know that for better or worse, it's something that's over with. I can no longer expect to play it on my PlayStation, but I can no longer assume that it's coming to my PlayStation. So wanted to get out with you guys and discuss this a little bit. Obviously, from a football standpoint, a little disappointing, but at the same time, hopefully they continue to get their game better, progress their game forward in short time. You wouldn't have an issue with that being on any console or maybe even put on a disc like we've seen with competitors in the marketplace. Love to know your thoughts on this, though. I'll be back very shortly with more videos tonight, trying to put 2 or 3 out a day. You only get 2 notices from YouTube, so be sure to check my channel, and I will be back in the week with more commentary.